Tropical storm Beta, the latest threat in the Gulf, has made a turn toward the coast. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Trevino. Great to have you with us. New warnings have been issued for parts of Texas and Louisiana. This is the live look at Galveston, where voluntary evacuations have been issued for the West End and the Bolivar Peninsula. More from the island in just a minute. But first, Blake Matthews has the latest now on Beta. Blake.
Some important changes, Ron. Now, Beta expected to be a tropical storm through its entire lifetime, but it really won't make much difference because the threat has always been the rainfall that will be pushing across Texas, and some areas could get walloped with 10 to 15 inches of rain, maybe even more than that. Now, the news is a little better for metropolitan Houston, where the rain may not be as heavy. So let's go over this together. Beta expected to remain a tropical storm, albeit a strong wind as it pushes towards the coast. Tropical storm warnings have been expanded inland to include Metro Houston, most of Harris County, Fort Bend County, Brazoria, Matagorda, Chambers, and southern portions of Liberty County. And rainfall expected to be limited once you get north of I-10, thanks in part to abundant dry air and the beautiful afternoon that we had here across the Houston area for today. Temperatures did not even make it to 90 degrees after many of us waking up into the 60s this morning. So really nice start to the day. Here's the very latest that I have for you. 60-mile-an-hour winds with this particular system, 70-mile-an-hour gusts. The movement there is stationary. And I know a lot of you think, well, if it's stationary over very warm water, that means it could strengthen. And while it could strengthen, it is not expected to. If anything, the National Hurricane Center says this may actually weaken a little bit further because the shear is just ripping across the northwest Gulf there, keeping most of the thunderstorm activity displaced from the center of circulation, that pressure holding at 994 millibars. So here is the cone of uncertainty just coming in a few hours ago. You can see, again, expected to remain a tropical storm all the way up until landfall just north of Corpus Christi. This is going to be in the Matagorda Bay area, putting Houston on that dirty, wet side of the center of circulation. And then that center of circulation begins to pull on off to the northeast as a tropical storm, and that's where Houston begins to get into the very heavy rain as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Here is a look at the expanded warnings we have here across the Houston area. You'll notice tropical storm warnings there for a long stretch of the coast from Port O'Connor all the way over to Intercoastal City, Louisiana. And that tropical storm warning has been expanded inland to include Harris County, southern Liberty County, Chambers, Galveston, Brazoria, Fort Bend, and Wharton and Matagorda County. So if you're in the shading blue there, we're talking about the tropical storm force winds will be a possibility, mainly just in gusts. We also have a flash flood watch in effect. This includes Montgomery County as well, Waller, Austin, and Colorado counties, so the one tier of counties further inland. It looks like everybody will see the possibility of some heavy rain. We also have that storm surge warning in effect along the coast. That is for a storm surge expected of 2 to 4 feet. That is why we have voluntary evacuations in effect from many communities there in our coastal counties. So there is a look at the very sloppy system there in the northern Gulf of Mexico. Notice all the rain displaced well to the east of the center of circulation. Very heavy rain pushing up towards New Orleans, but not a whole lot going on the west side of the circulation. The reason why, look at the amount of dry air that we have here in place across the region. That is really going to help limit the amount of heavy rain that we have here, but it could also increase the tornado risk as we get into early next week, something we'll want to pay attention to. Right now, not a whole lot going on there on the radar. We are anticipating showers moving into the forecast, getting into late Sunday. You'll notice there as we move into Sunday at 3:30 in the afternoon, those rain bands beginning to pull on shore and becoming heavier as we get into the overnight hours into Monday, Tuesday, and again on Wednesday as that storm system really begins to hang out here along the upper Texas coast. In fact, I don't think we catch much of a break until we get into the latter part of next week. So here is a look at the GFS model as far as how much rain we can expect. The general idea here is that the closer to the coast you are, the heavier the rain is expected to be. The further north you are, the lighter. And here is a look at the European model. Generally the same idea, heavier rain along the coast, although this has more widespread areas getting 2 to 3 inches of rain, and again some areas a little more than that. So here's the full boat. 50% chance of rain for tomorrow, 80% Monday, Tuesday, 60% into Wednesday, and finally, Ron, drying it out as we get into next weekend. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that flood threat.
All right, thank you so much, Blake Matthews.